Hi! Welcome back. I'm Ren and this is my channel where I talk about books, reading, and anything that's important to me. So today's video is going to be a book haul and I'm going to share with you some of the books I've bought recently. So let's get started. The first few books that I bought is the Poppy War trilogy by RF Kuang, which includes The Poppy War, The Dragon Republic, and The Burning God. So I'll read you the synopsis. Basically, I bought the whole series because I was very interested in it after I finished Babel by RF Kuang. I thought it was really good. I gave it 5 stars. It was one of the best books I've read this year. So, let's just get into the synopsis for The Poppy War. When war orphan Rin aced the Keiju, the Emperor Bride test to find the most talented youth to learn at the academies, she surprised everyone. Test officials, the guardians who wanted to marry her off, and further their criminal enterprise, and even herself. But being a dark-skinned peasant girl from the south is not as easy as at Singard, the most elite military school in Nikon. Targeted by rival classmates for her color, poverty, and gender, Rin discovers that gods long thought dead are very much alive, and that she possesses a lethal, unearthly power, an aptitude for the nearly mythical art of shamanism that could be the weapon the Empire desperately needs. When Nikira is at peace, its enemies and former occupiers, the Federation of Mugen, bides its time, and a third Poppy War is just a spark away. Rin's shamanic powers may be the only way to save her people. Yet she discovers more about the god that has chosen her, the vengeful phoenix. She fears that winning the war may cost her humanity, and that it may be already too late. I've heard good things, and I'm really excited to get into this series. And it's voted as Time Magazine's 100 Greatest Fantasy Books, so exciting. And I like the size of the font also. The next book I have is a manga omnibus, and it is A Sign of Affection. This is contains volumes 1, 2, and 3. Basically, it's like a shoujo romance manga, I believe, as far as I know. And I'll just read the synopsis. The cover is really pretty. Take a look at that if you can see. Yuki, who's always been deaf, is used to communicating with her sign language and her phone, but she's not used to English, so when a tourist from overseas asks for directions, she nearly panics, until a handsome stranger steps in to help. His name is Utsuomi. A charismatic globetrotter, Utsuomi speaks 3 languages, but he's never had a deaf friend. The two feel drawn to each other, but Yuki's friend is afraid that she might be setting herself up to get hurt. Could these feelings be something real, or these feelings melt away with the snow? I heard the anime is really good. I thought it would be cool to read the manga before I watched the anime. So, there we go. The next book I have here is Volume 2 of Delicious in Dungeon by Yoko. It's basically like an anime and a manga series about like dungeon crawlers and people who decide to like eat the monsters that they find in dungeons because there's not a lot of like great food to eat, and yeah, I just found it really interesting, and I like reading the manga before I read the anime. It's kind of feels like a fuller experience. So that's why I have this, and this is volume 2. I already have volume 1, and I believe there's like 14 or so volumes out right now, so hopefully I can get to the rest of them. Next up, we have some boys love manga. I have Given volume 3 and 4 by Natsuki Kizu. This is just like musician anime, boys love anime, so, or manga, rather. Yeah, So I already have the first 2 volumes, so yeah, just collecting them all. The next manga that I have is Sketchy Volume 3. This was released recently. This is by Maki Hiroshi. This is like an older anime, and it's basically about skateboarding as far as I know. I thought it was really cool. I haven't read it yet, but I do have the first 2 volumes, and I really like the art style. Next up, we have another manga that was released recently, the Hirayasumi Volume 2 by Keigo Shinzo. I'm not sure exactly what it's about, but the art style is like really sweet, and it has like a kid in it, and it's really sweet. Yeah, that's the cover. Yeah, I got that because I have the first volume as well. Next manga we have is Solanin by Ino Asano, the author of Goodnight PunPun and what's the name of it? Downfall. This is another standalone manga story. Basically, it's about Miko Inoue is a recent college grad working as an office lady in a job she hates. Her boyfriend Neruo is permanently crashing at her apartment because his job as a freelance illustrator doesn't pay enough for rent, and her parents in the country keep sending her boxes of veggies that just rot in her fridge. Straddling the line between years as a student with the rest of her life, Miko struggles with the feeling that she's just not cut out to be a part of the real world. So I really like this author. Yeah, so giving that a shot. I also have another, let me just get off the plastic here. Plastic noise. ASMR. I don't think plastic is very ASMR. Anyway, so I have Goodnight PunPun Volume 5 by Ino Asano. I literally have no idea what this manga series is about, but I hear it's really good, and it's one of like what Ino Asano's most famous. So yeah. Let me just fix these over here. Okay, and the last manga that I have is King in Limbo Volume 3. The next volume of manga I have is King in Limbo Volume 3 by a Tanaka. I believe that's how you pronounce it. This is basically an omnibus edition, and it's basically about what is it about? I don't know. I just thought it sounded cool. This guy has knives. Anyway, there's that one. And next I have Saga Volume 3 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. Now this is a beloved graphic novel series. I only had the first 2 volumes, but now I have Volume 3. So there's that. Next up, I have Denison Avenue by Christina Wong. This was a Canada Reads selection from this past year, and it flips around like this. I found that really cool, and when I read the synopsis, it sounded really cool, so I'll read it to you now. Daniel Innes' extensive portfolio includes painting, installation, graphic and textile design, illustration, sign painting, and tattooing. He uses traditional and commercial art techniques with a focus on the process. He has a special interest in creating works that have the possibility of an immersive physical experience. Daniel was born in the north end of Toronto and has lived Oh, I thought this was the synopsis. I'm legitimately reading the author bio. Oops. Okay. Now here's the synopsis. This is what. Okay. A movie story that illuminates the untold lives of Chinese Canadian elders, encompassing ink artwork and fiction. Denison Avenue follows Wu Cho Sum, who's living in Toronto's quickly changing Chinatown Kensington market, begins to collect bottles and cans after the sudden death of her husband as a way to keep grief and loneliness at bay. In the long walks around the city, Cho Sum meets new friends, confronts classism and racism, and learns how to build a new life in a neighborhood that's being destroyed and rebuilt and leaving elders like her behind. A poignant meditation on loss, aging, gentrification, and the barriers that Chinese Canadian seniors experience in our biggest cities. Denison Avenue beautifully combines the visual art fiction and the endangered toys and dialect to create a book that's truly unforgettable. Next up, I have Mina's Matchbox by Yoko Ogawa. This is Yoko Ogawa's newly released novel. It was just released this month. And basically, it's a historical fiction novel, literary fiction, and I'll tell you what it's about. So, in the spring of 1972, after the death of her father, 12-year-old Tomoko leaves her mother behind in Tokyo and boards a train alone for the coastal town of Ashia to stay with her aunt. It is a year that would change Tomoko's life. Her aunt's family lives in a magnificent mansion filled with German-made furnishings, surrounded by sprawling gardens and the remnants of an old zoo, where the family's pet pygmy hippopotamus still resides. The family is just as beguiling as their home, but beneath their sophistication and charm lie complications that Tomoko struggles to understand. Her aunt's misery, her handsome foreign uncle's curious absences, her German great aunt's experience of the Second World War. At the center of the family is Tomoko's cousin Mina, a precocious, asthmatic girl who draws Tomoko into an intoxicating world full of secret crushes and elaborate storytelling, including the strange tales inspired by the illustrated matchboxes she collects beneath her bed. The two girls share confidences and enthusiasms, counter heartaches, and have their eyes open to the workings of the adult world. I really loved The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. I also have another book by Yoko Ogawa somewhere. I forgot what it's called. I believe it's something in the Professor. So I'm hoping to get to this one soon. And these are the last two books I have for my book haul, and they're both blue in theme, so let's get them over with. First up, we have The Cure for Drowning by Loghan Paylor. Born Kathleen to an immigrant Irish farming family in southern Ontario, Kit McNair has been a changeling since, at 10, they fell through the river ice and drowned, only to be nursed back to life by their mother's Celtic magic. A daredevil in boy's clothes, Kit chafes at every aspect of a girl's life, driving that same mother to distraction and with worry about whether Kit will ever fit in. When Rebecca Cromer, an elegant doctor's daughter, moves to the town with her parents in April 1939, she has no doubt about who Kit is. Soon she and Kit's older brother Landon are caught in a love triangle that not only tears their families apart, but sends each of them off onto a separate path to war. Landon signs up for the Navy. Kit, now Christopher, joins the Royal Air Force and becomes bomber navigator relied on for his luck and courage. Rebecca serves with naval intelligence in Halifax until one more collision with Landon changes the course of her life and draws her back to the McNair farm. She believes she has found peace at last until, with the war over, Kit and Landon return home. Told in the vivid, unforgettable voices of Kit and Rebecca, The Cure for Drowning is a powerfully engrossing novel that imagines a history that is truer than true. Yeah. So there's that one. In the next one, I've seen so much on BookTube and stuff, is The Spear That Cuts Through Water by Simon Jiminez. This book is sort of like a fantasy type deal, and basically I'll read the synopsis. Yeah, I'll read the synopsis to you now. Two warriors shepherd an ancient god across the broken land to end the tyrannical reign of a royal family in the standalone epic fantasy from the author of The Vanished Birds. The people suffer under the centuries-long rule of the Moon Throne. The royal family, the despotic emperor, and his monstrous sons, the Three Terrors, hold the countryside in their choking grip. They bleed the land and oppress the citizens with the frightful powers they inherited from the god locked under their palace. But that god cannot be contained forever. With the aid of Jun, a guard broken by his guilt-stricken past, and Kima, an outcast fighting for his future, the god escapes from her royal captivity and flees from her own children, and the triplet terrors who would drag her back to her royal holy prison. And so it is that she embarks with her young companions on a 5-day pilgrimage in search of freedom, a way to end the Moon Throne forever. The journey ahead will be more dangerous than any of them could have ever imagined. Both a sweeping adventure story and an intimate exploration of identity, legacy, and belonging, The Spirit Cuts Through Water is an ambitious and profound saga that will transport and transform you and is like nothing you've ever read before. And that is my book haul. Let me see if I can hold up all the books. Let's see. Okay. Okay. These are all the books that I bought recently. Comment down below if you've read any of these books and what you thought and which book I should get to first. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day or evening or whatever time it is where you are. Bye!